pathways to F&I success, and you will achieve more. I'm going to share with you what I feel is the pathway to F&I success. First of all, you got to create an awareness. Secondly, you got to get the customer to consider your offerings. And thirdly, you got to get them to make a decision to buy. You can utilize help from your sales and management staff. They can simply do it during a facility tour when they point out a number of things that your dealership has to offer. How about during the vehicle walk around? They're going to have the customer give their hot buttons, their value drivers. And while they're doing the walk around, the sales consultant point out those value drivers and the importance of possibly enrolling in some programs that you're about to offer later on. And how about during that trade appraisal? Simply asking the customer questions about their driving habits and how they own the vehicle, how they maintain the vehicle, had they replaced tires, had to replace a windshield. These are all things that can be done to create an awareness. Let me share with you some of the things that you can do or train your sales and management staff to assist you in creating awareness for these F&I products. Number one, during the facility tour, there's people in the customer lounge and they're not just sitting there watching TV, they're waiting for their vehicle that's being repaired. How about the parts inventory? Your dealership carries an enormous amount of money in the parts department. Talk to the parts manager, determine how much money you have tied up in the parts department. And I can assure you, you're not just tires and oil filters. How about the parts truck that's outside and the fact that you have a parts truck that comes to the dealership all the time? Shuttle service, diagnostic machines. Because of the electronics. We don't have mechanics anymore, we have technicians. These are the things that the sales consultant can point out during their facility tour. How about tool manufacturers sitting out in the parking lot waiting to update your mechanic's tools? Oh, your technician's tools. And then there's the dent wizard guy who's running around your dealership removing dings and dents that happen on your lot. Just think of the consequences of your vehicle in a shopping parking lot. You can point these things out, teach your sales consultants to point these things out during a facility tour. This is going to create awareness. The other thing, as I mentioned during the walk around, you got these value drivers that hopefully your sales consultant have pulled out of your customer. And as they're doing their walk around, they're pointing out all those value drivers, the important features and accessories that are in this vehicle that the customer wants. And oftentimes, the customer may ask questions about them, and the sales consultant then reassert the fact that you can protect the vehicle longer, or you can protect other components in the vehicle that the manufacturer doesn't cover. And then you get to the window sticker, and you point out on the window sticker the technology and the safety features. All this stuff is going to create awareness. And then there's during the trade appraisal. Hopefully you're doing a trade walk where the sales consultant goes out and walks around the vehicle with the customer, and they point out certain things in the vehicle, not to disparage the trade, but so that they can have a conversation once they get the trade appraisal from the used car manager. Maybe they ask questions like, had you had to have to replace the tires on the vehicle or the windshield? Do you have both sets of keys? Did you happen to purchase fabric and paint treatment, a service contract, or gap when you originally purchased the vehicle? How many miles a year do you think you'd be driving in this vehicle? How did you maintain the vehicle? These are all questions that your sales staff can ask to create awareness. Once that awareness is created, your customer will have a better consideration, or more consideration for the products. So during the introduction, you're going to gather information from the customer about their driving habits. Right down to their insurance deductible. Let's face it, when a customer says I have a $200 deductible, they don't like risk. But a customer has a $1,000 deductible, they're more likely to take a risk. That just tells you something about the customer. About how many miles a year you drive. Make it conversational by opening up for the oil changes. Most manufacturers give up to 2 years of maintenance free. So just simply ask the customer, Honda gives 2 years of maintenance free. How often do you like to maintain the vehicle? How many miles a year you driving? How long you plan on keeping the car? So we set everything up for you. You're going to get out of the customer the you told me so's during your introduction. The things that are going to help you to close and get to that decision to say yes a lot quicker. How about what do you think of all the technology during your introduction? High cost of repairs. What's your understanding of the cost to repair or replace a tire and wheel? What's your understanding of the cost to replace a key fob? Or how about your insurance company's responsibility should you have a total loss? These are all questions that you should be asking, not simply during your introduction, but after you give them in your presentation to get the customer to reconsider the decision not to enroll in the programs. And how about the inconvenience? There's an emotional, economic, and there's unexpected consequences by not enrolling in these programs. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. and Mrs. Jones? So if you want to get your customer to consider more options or more products, You got to create that awareness first, and then you got to ask the right questions, okay, to raise awareness. Now, once you get to that point, during your introduction, these are some of the questions that you want to ask. What type of driving do you usually do? Is it primarily city or rural? Do you plan on taking any road trips in the vehicle? What do you think of the latest technology, as I mentioned before? How often do you like to maintain the vehicle? So do you get to the miles they drive and how long they plan on keeping the car? What's your insurance deductible, as I mentioned, to kind of determine the type of customer, take their temperature, so to speak, that's sitting in front of you? The technology behind these vehicles. Show illustrations so that they can reconsider the decision not to enroll in the products. I mean, there's a lot of technology in these vehicles. I talk about it all the time, but you got to prove it to them. You got to show them. It's a fact. These are the facts, Mr. and Mrs. Jones. This is what your vehicle is made up of today. You're trading in a vehicle that's 8 years old that has nowhere near the technology that this vehicle has right now. That's how you get customers to reconsider the decision not to enroll or buy the products. And then aids to get a positive decision from your customer. You need to set up an evidence manual with articles and illustrations. You got to use props. Don't make your office look like Sanford and Sons. You got to ask the right questions, and you got to jot things down. You got to make the shopper your friend. I'm going to share with you what I'm talking about in just a few slides. Here you go, an evidence manual. Have brochures in your evidence manual, not all over the desk. Have repair orders in the evidence manual to show, even warranty repairs with a price tag on it, so that you can show customers that vehicles do break down. There's many articles. I talk about Googling for articles all the time. Just any subject you want, just Google it, and you'll get all the articles you need. Claims you can get from your agents, the people that provide the products to you. And then there's the wear card from the manufacturer, the lease wear card. Everybody gets a wear card. At least I believe they get a wear card at the end of their lease. 90 days prior to their lease end, they get a wear card. And they have an opportunity to do it themselves, inspect the vehicle themselves, have an inspector come in. Show them the wear card. This is only going to get them closer to making that decision. Yes, these are the facts. Okay, props. I talk about props all the time. You take that intangible item and turn it into a tangible item by providing a prop to the customer. Anywhere from a thermos to the mason jar. So what do you do with the thermos? Put a few dings and dents in it. What do you do with the shopping cart that you can get from your agent or the person that provides you with the paint and dent removal? You show that cart on your desk and you say, this is what you got to worry about when you get into that parking lot. The golf ball shows the porous, how paint surfaces are porous, and once the paint is applied, the paint sealant is applied, it seals up those pores. Cell phones. Nearly everybody you talk to is going to place their cell phone on your desk, and that cell phone is going to have protection on it. It's going to have a case protector, possibly a screen protector, and they most likely have insurance on it. The stapler is only to prove that the combustion engine, just like the stapler, has been proven over and over and over again. You simply change the oil or change the staplers to keep it running, but it takes the cell phone to get it going. How about the swatches, the treated and untreated surfaces? You have a cup of coffee or a Coke and a little swizzle stick and show them how the coffee penetrates the untreated side and rolls right off the treated side. The spilled coffee cups that you can get from your fabric and paint treatment providers, a key fob with a price tag on it. What does the light bulb represent? Keep a light bulb in your drawer. That represents technicians versus mechanics. Mechanics fix things, technicians replace things. In the mason jar, just fill it up with a number of, the nails and all the stuff that comes out of tires from the tire machine. Perhaps get a magnet. I don't have a picture of the magnet there, but use a magnet as well. And then, what's in it for me? When the customer says, man, I'm really not interested in the programs, you got to look at them and say, I'm curious, I'm surprised. Or as you know, these vehicles are more complicated. I'm surprised you had no interest in the vehicle service contract because of what you mentioned to me earlier. I'm surprised you had no interest, and I'm curious as to why you have no interest in the tire and wheel, especially the road you drive on. Do you mind if I share something with you? And then start asking those questions I mentioned earlier. What is it about the coverage that concerns you? Is it the cost? I have this 3-second rule. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippis. You ask the customer a question. If they don't give you an answer within those 3 seconds, answer it for them. For example, what is it about the service contract that concerns you? No answer? Is it the cost? What is your understanding of your responsibility at lease end? What's your understanding of the cost to replace those keys, those low profile tires? Why do you think the manufacturer limits their liability to only powertrain or certain components as time goes on? You may want to reconsider not enrolling in the program because of what you mentioned to me earlier. Just because the manufacturer doesn't cover it doesn't mean it can't be covered when you talk about outside the manufacturer's warranty. And then every mile you drive, this will really get them to reconsider. Every mile you drive, you're going to get closer and closer to a pothole. Every mile you drive, you're going to get closer and closer to losing your keys. Every mile you drive, you're going to get closer and closer to a breakdown. Have fun with it. That's all I can say. Ask questions to get responses. When the customer says, I don't think I have the money, I'm on a budget. How about, I don't think I need it, or I don't really think I need it right now, can I wait till later? Have a rebuttal. I understand it's hard to justify the cost if you don't see the value. To see if it be beneficial to you, do you mind if I share something with you, okay? Most folks budget monthly and spend daily. Use that calculator close I talk about often, where you simply divide the payment by 30 days, the current payment, and it comes up with a number, 300 equals 10, and then the program that they're interested in is $30 more. That's only $1 a day, but you got to use the calculator when you do that. I realize it's hard to see the benefit if you don't feel the need. You mind if I ask you a question? What's your understanding of the manufacturer's warranty? And then you go into rebuttal. What's your understanding of the cost to replace those low-profile tires, or replace those keys, or the effect that your appearance has come trade-in time? How about your insurance company's responsibility should you have a total loss? And what's your responsibility, or what's your understanding of responsibility to lease end? All these questions draw our customers more to a consideration stage and a decision stage. No sense of urgency. I know these decisions are sometimes hard to make, but don't say, what are you going to think about? There may be another way of looking at it. Do you mind if I share something with you? Or grab a brochure and restate the benefits of the program when the customer has some doubt. These are all things that are going to lead to better decisions. So until next time, go get them.